Before creating the rim, you've dampened or sprayed all of your weavers. It's not critical that the very bottom be wet at this point, but it should be a little bit damp. The 4 corner clips are still in place, and importantly, they're in place at a spacing of 3 diamonds up from the corner. So I'm looking at one of my corners here. Here's the very bottom. Here's the first diamond. Going up the corner, there's the second diamond. And the third diamond in this case is covered by my red clip. To explain this in a diagram, here is the corner bottom, the 3 diamonds, the clip, the bottom and the bottom. So the next step is to take your ruler, find the base of your basket, and then I would like you to move the ruler up in line with that 3rd diamond. And where that 3rd diamond is located, we want the weaver to be on top. So the weaver going to the right, angling off into the right direction, is on top of the one going to the left. So all the way around, I'm going to go up 1, 2. So I'm between the 2nd and the 3rd diamond, and I want to make sure at this level that all my weavers are, the ones going to the right are on top. And I've taken some time to do this already, but I'm going to check it all the way around. All the way around. It doesn't matter if they're not quite right on the very top, but when it's at that level of the between the 2nd and the 3rd diamond, again, the one going off to the right is on top of the one going to the left. Okay, so once that is done, you can do the next step. So take one of those weavers that's going on top to the right. You're going to be folding it just ever so gently. So we're going to be temporarily bringing the one going to the left on top here. But I'm going to be folding the one going off to the right, and it's going to come on top of this one that's going the opposite direction. So what do I mean by that? Let me show you. I'm going to take that nice pointed tip that you made, and I'm going to bring it down. It's folding over in this fashion. A little bit hard to see because it's dark, but it's folded over, so now that top piece is going to be horizontal. It's going to be parallel to the bottom. I'm not pinching it at this point. I'm going to do that all the way around with the weaver going off to the right, only with the one going off to the right. So it's going to come over. We've taken the weaver to the right of the one that we just wove in, and it's going to come directly adjacent to the one we just put in. And so you're flipping it from one side to the other. So right now you see the outer bark. We're going to be weaving the inner bark in, because remember, your basket the inside of the basket is now also going to be on the outside of the basket. So gently bring that in place. You're weaving it over one and under the next one. Okay, then I take the next one off to the right. It's going to go flipping it upside down. It's going to be woven into place. Now, you may have a little bit of difficulty getting it in. That's what your awl comes in handy for. So I created a little space with my awl, and I'm going to stick that point under it and remove the awl, and then continue to thread the weaver into it. I'm not pulling too tight on any of those. So you can see one in after the other of those weavers that was going off to the right is being now down and to the right. Okay, so once you've completed that step, this is what your basket will look like. So all the weavers that were headed off to the right are woven down and to the right. I'm going to go around and I'm going to make sure these are kind of snug. So I'm giving them a little tug. I'm not really going to crease them at this point. Just want them snug. And there'll be time for additional adjusting, but we will be weaving over and under these, so we'd like them somewhat in position. Okay, so all the way around. Feel everything and dampen it if necessary. And now we're going to take any one of these weavers going off to the left, and that's all we have at this point. And that's going to come down like this. But it's also going to be woven in the same fashion that we've been weaving all along, over and under the simple plaiting style. So it folds over. It's going to go over this, over the one that it's next to, and it's going to come under the next one to the left. So you can create a little space with your hand or your awl. Okay. I'm going to take the next one to the left. That's going to go over a little bit of that first piece and then under the next one to the left. And you can, if you want more room, you can slide the one it's going under, you can slide it out a little bit. And then you can make it a little bit more secure. Again, this is not the final time we're going to be touching these. We're just trying to weave them into place. So I'll do that one more time. This piece off to the left is going to go over this little corner, and on top of and to the left, the one you just wove. Okay, and you continue that all the way around, working from right to left. Okay, this is what the basket will look like at this point. So you've just created your rim. You'll notice mine isn't super even, it's quite loose. You can see a lot of spaces here. So at this point I'm going to snug the weavers going both directions, and I'm going to try to even out that rim all the way around. So I'm going to pull it down here a little bit, and here, and here. in here. Just a little bit goes a long way, all the way around, before we do any more weaving. Okay, so at this point, I've woven most of the sides. I've taken care that the rim is pretty even. Done quite a bit of adjusting of that. Just very minute adjustments, but adjustments nonetheless. And I am just about to finish on the base by overlapping with some of these pieces. So always weaving them in over and under. And then one should overlap at least 2 squares. And if you're counting, I would say underneath 2 squares. So that means that it would be going over 1 square. So a total of going through 3 squares of overlap. You can do more. It's not necessary. You basically just want to make sure things are secured. It's possible that you'll just be overlapping once if you misjudged the length when you did the original spacing of sides. So I just want to show you how to overlap. And I'm going to take this piece here. I've woven this one in about as far as it will go. I'm going to weave that in one more. So it's going under one more. It doesn't matter that it's sticking out. I don't know if you can tell, but there's just a very little tip sticking out because we're going to be weaving over that with this next piece. So here's an example of one that's not going to come over and under as long as I was recommending. It's just going to be over and under 2. So it's going over this, under this one, over this one, and then it will get tucked away under here. Okay, so that's all there is to it. If you're satisfied with the way the rim looks, then you don't need to keep looking at the rim, and you can just focus on weaving in these base pieces. And you're almost done.